pleasure to introduce you to the next speakers. These students were selected by their classmates to give an address at this ceremony. Jen Stengel is a traditional nursing student who will be working as a medical intensive care unit nurse at University of Virginia Medical Center following graduation. From the class of 2011, I present to you Jen Stengel.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the benefit of my peers, allow me to admit that I'm currently experiencing tachycardia, arrhythmia, and diaphoresis. I may even be throwing PVCs right now. Forgive me. Someone asked me the following question the other night. At what point in nursing school did you feel like you were actually a nurse? I knew without a doubt the answer to the question. I was an extern in a medical intensive care unit last summer at home in central Pennsylvania. One hot week in July, I cared for an 80-year-old gentleman named Louis, who was recovering from an extensive abdominal surgery. It turned out that Louis and I lived in the same neighborhood, one in which he enjoyed a daily 4-mile walk every morning before his hospitalization. Louis discussed with me his personal recovery goal, to be able to return to this daily walk upon discharge. At the end of the fourth and final day of taking care of Louis, I bid him goodbye and wished him the best of luck in the future. One day in September, when I was back here at Georgetown for the fall semester, I got a call from my dad. He told me he met a fan of mine that day. Louis had walked up our driveway while my dad was doing yard work, shook his hand, and told him how great of a caregiver his daughter was to him during his summer admission. Louis was proud to report that he had returned to his daily 4-mile walk and had made a full recovery. After hearing this from my dad, I was not only beaming about how proud he sounded of me, but I was touched that Louis made a point to let me know of his recovery and how he had reached the goal we had set together. Although this seemed silly, at this moment I knew nursing was my field and how lucky I felt to be in it. I am sure that all the nurses in this auditorium have stories like this one, and as graduates we have a lifetime of ones like it ahead of us. Let us think for a moment of all we have done during the past 4 years. We have memorized every bone and muscle in the human body. Freshman year. Thank you, Dr. Joe. We took courses in biochemistry, ethics, nutrition, and research, to name a few. We have spent 850 hours in clinical, both in the hospital and in the community, honing our practical skills. We have done all of this with the goal of actualizing the art and science of nursing care in our future as professional nurses. But we have truly learned so much more than what was listed on our course objectives or lectured on by our professors. We have learned about ourselves and about others, that only one who has cared for another human, body and mind, in their most vulnerable state, in pain or in illness, can learn. We have had intimate experiences with patients at the end of life and been lucky enough to see the true joy in the birth of a newborn. We have learned how to empathize, communicate, and give compassionately to patients in whatever stage of life they may be in. We have learned to care for the entire human, body, mind, and soul, in the Jesuit tradition of cura personalis, discovering a way of caring that many other students studying nursing do not have the privilege to obtain. During our last class as undergraduates just the other week, Dr. Norton gave us a lecture on the end of life. Luckily, it was not a lecture about our personal end of life, but the nursing care to be delivered to our patients at this phase. She told us to remember that as nurses, we are born with one mouth and 2 ears, that listening to others is such an important part of our profession. Keeping in mind the importance of listening and the power of kindness will take us so far in our field. Despite early mornings, long hours, stress, sweat, and tears during the past 4 years, and I'm sure in the years to come, we are repaid with incredibly special rewards as nurses. We are privileged to see patients like Louis conquer illness, knowing that what we said and did during their trying time of sickness made a difference. We are lucky enough to be with others in their most vulnerable state, to help and care for others when they need it most. We skip our lunch breaks to pray with our patients or to be present at a family meeting. We rehabilitate, support, teach, and testify for our patients. We help our patients, their families, their children, and their spouses make huge life-changing decisions. We have the privilege of working with and learning from the human spirit at its best and at its worst on a daily basis. How cool is that? All of this makes me 100% confident that we have chosen the right profession, that each and every one of us has the brains and the hearts to do this work. I have confidence that we have listened to our call to be nurses for a reason, and that we are all meant to be here. We are on the verge of entering our professional careers with a vast amount of knowledge and experience gained here at Georgetown. I have no doubt we will not only be successful, but excel in our field of nursing. On behalf of the undergraduate class, I'd like to thank the parents, siblings, and close friends who were there for us in so many ways during the past 4 years. Thank you for believing in us and all that we have accomplished. We could not be here without you, and are so grateful that you're celebrating with us today. We would like to thank the faculty and staff of the NHS. We will never forget when Dr. Taylor went into cardiac arrest during our first nursing lecture ever. When Dr. Lashot staged a bird in front of the St. Mary's 107 classroom. And when Professor Craig and Professor Farley taught us how to start intraosseous lines in chicken legs. You have all stood by us since day one, nurtured us as we have learned and grown, imparted wisdom upon us along the way, and we're the best role models I think anyone could ask for. We cannot thank you enough for all you have taught us. Finally, I'd like to thank my peers, my nursing family for the past 4 years. I'm so grateful that I just got to discover my passion for nursing with you ladies and Phil. We have leaned on each other daily. I love every one of you very much. Congratulations, Georgetown University, undergraduate nursing class of 2011. Thank you. Is a second-grade student. Chris graduated with his first degree in anthropology from Whistling College in 1996. Chris, a husband and a father of 2, will begin his nursing career at the Washington Hospital Center. From the class of 2011, I present to you Christian Guadalupe.